But number 2, Georgia, taking on a number 12 Missouri. And they got the win, 30-21. It's a lot that was going up against Missouri in this one, okay? I kind of set you up for this on the Tuesday show, but I need to reiterate here. Georgia had not lost at Sanford in Athens since October 2019 when Will Muschamp in South Carolina jacked it for the hedges. It's been that long. It's been over 1,480 days since Georgia last lost in Athens. And yet at halftime, it was 10-up. Because for whatever reason, this Georgia football team does not mind going down or being tied against an SEC foe this season as they try to become the first team in modern history to win 3 consecutive national championships. Now, it is one thing for me to tell you that Georgia is inevitable. It is another thing entirely for them to beat Florida without Brock Bowers. And it is yet another thing entirely for them to beat number 12 Missouri, who's got the one loss to LSU of all people, without Brock Bowers. Okay? This, for me, is their most impressive win all year. Not just because the College Football Playoff Selection Committee decided to put a 12 next to their name. I also rank Missouri. It's that you didn't have Brock Bowers there for this game, and you lost your best defender at the end of the third quarter on the final play of the third quarter in Jamon Dumas Johnson. That dude leads Georgia in tackles for loss, 5.5, and was tied for 4th on the team in tackles. And I think he's tied for the lead in tackles even without playing the fourth quarter. Now, he's fractured his forearm, so he's probably not going to be available this coming Saturday when they got a huge game against Ole Miss in Athens. But that's 2 star players that Georgia is down. And as much as I hate it when people say next man up, because the man that is down needs all the attention that you could possibly give him, I want to see how Georgia contends with not just not having Brock Bowers, but now not having one of your best defenders, best pass rushers, edge players against an Ole Miss team that can beat you over the skull. Like, they can go score. Now, Missouri could go score, but I like to think that Ole Miss is some sort of Missouri 2.0 this year, especially after what they were able to do against A&M. We'll get to them in a little bit, but as I get to talking about the teams at the top of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee's rankings, notably Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Florida State, I think it's interesting to ask, what did we expect from Missouri here? I mean, I picked Georgia, but so did everybody else, right? So what did Missouri show? Well, they showed they will be a handful in the Citrus Bowl because that seems like what's lying in wait for them after what Alabama did against LSU, and we'll see what Ole Miss can or can't do against Georgia. But it is a 2-loss team that's really good. And if you put Missouri in the Big 12, they're probably contending for the Big 12 title. If you put them in the ACC, probably the same is true. You put them in the Pac-12, maybe not, but they're probably better than USC. You get what I'm saying here? It's a good Missouri football team that just came up against this thing called Georgia that has been a cut above of everybody for the last 2 years in a row. Should Georgia be the number 1 team in my rankings, let alone the College Football Playoff Selection Committee's rankings? Well, seeing as the College Football Playoff Selection Committee and myself think a lot of Missouri. If you like what you've seen, consider subscribing to the number 1 college football show on YouTube, the Fox Sports app, or wherever you get your podcast.